Hello, 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 my crafty friends. Welcome to another Crafting Today with Handmade Bay. Today I am going to show you how to make your covers, right, from the binding, and to use free materials or almost free. I've talked about in the past about using chipboard, double-sided tape, but some of you wanted to start out with something a little easier, cheaper, right, and stuff you have around the house. I'm going to show you that, and this we'll use glue with, okay? Usually I use double-sided tape. Today we're going to use glue. All right, so the glues you're going to need is, I'm going to be using the Mod Podge, okay, some regular dollar store glue too. All right, nothing fancy. And this is kind of the look we're going for. I'm going to go over the binding and how to make that. And then I'm going to have a part 2 to show you how to do the glue in signatures. All right, so it should be a fun one. So let's get started. So the free items that we are going to use, that you may not be aware you can get for free, is from the post office, okay? These are the priority mail boxes, and you can get these free right off their website, delivered right to your home, okay? So we're going to use a small one for this, all right, for today's project. You also can get these mailing envelopes, and what these are made of is tie back, and it's what you wrap your house in before you put on your siding. There's fibers in this. It's very strong, waterproof, so you can get these also mailed to your house, okay, free of charge. And we are going to use some paper lunch bags, which most people have these, so, but very inexpensive. They can get like $200 for $1 at your local store. So that is what we're going to use today, so let's get started. So when you think about a box, think about even deliveries that you get, take a look at them and see if you can see that there's kind of a book to it. Look for a spine. So here, right here, I see that if I fold this and this over, okay, you got the start of your book, right, of your binding. You don't have to worry about putting anything together. So for this one, you're going to go ahead and you're going to cut everything on the outside. And you're going to cut everything. They have the lines ready for you. You can even snap them off. But if you can cut them right on those lines, you can make sure you have it nice and straight. Okay, so you're just going to go around and cut it. You can use a scissor too. All right, bend it so you know which. Okay. And there you go. There's the start of your journal. Now you may have to square it off a little bit depending on how you cut it. You can do this size, leave it as is. Okay, for today's project we will leave it as this, which is about, looks like it's 8 3/4. Well, let's do this. So it's like about 12.5 by 8.5. All right, so that's the measurement that this is. Now, if you want to make a smaller one, you can just go ahead where your spine is here. You want to start from here and measure out to how wide you want your cover. And then you're going to cut that, and let's say this is 3 inches. You're going to go from this line now and do your back at 3 inches, and then you should have your book together. Okay, so nice and easy. Any size you want to do, but look, it's already put together for you. It's really great. Now, if you don't have one of these and you have just regular packing boxes, if you look at the cardboard, the corrugated cardboard, you have automatic, if you bend it a little, see how you get automatic straight lines with it. So there's another way you could do it and just figure it out and do it that way, okay? So nice and easy. And there's plenty of free cardboard around. So I'm going to go with the bigger one, all right? So for today's project, now we're going to take our tie back envelope and we're just going to cut just like that. We're just going to cut it in half, okay, all the way around. Very easy to do. and you can get 2 journals out of one of these. All right, maybe even 3 if you cut it smaller. All right, that other one we cut, I just cut that basically in half, and I could use one of each of these. Okay, so now I'm telling you how to use these, but we're going to cover this after. Okay, so this is just to give it strength. All right, or you can cover this directly with your crafting paper. All right, now this way though, with the crafting paper, I would not use liquid glue. I use my double-sided tape. Here we can use liquid glue because this is waterproof. All right, so what we're going to do, decide what you want on the outside of your inside. You're going to cover it all up, but I tend to use this side where it's going to close. All right, so, and I'm going to take advantage on this piece. So make sure I'm getting this in the camera for you. The sticky part's going to be useful to you to stick it onto here, so it helps. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our Mod Podge. Okay, now remember your Mod Podge, you should always pour out what you need on a plate so you don't contaminate what's in there. Looks like I got stuff in there. Okay, so we're going to cover this side of your box, and you don't have to be too crazy neat, and it can be a little messy here. All right, now you want to get it on quick because depending how dry it is in your house. Okay, and again, you can use double-sided tape if you want. You can use a different glue. I found the Mod Podge does work really well on this. And you want to use a pretty big brush too. That helps get it on. All right. Now we're going to take this and we're going to center it. Okay, and actually I'm going to put it all the way to this because see how that's going to fold over, and you won't need to put glue on that. So you want, when you're doing this, say if you're using your craft paper or whatever you're going to use as your covering, you want about an inch and a half over, all right, because you want it to come in, because we're going to cover this with something else to hide it, but you want this to cover part of your inside. Okay, so we're going to flip around, we can get rid of that, and just smooth it out. And again, this envelope, the Tyvek, really will smooth out with the glue. It doesn't bubble up because of what it's made of, so it really is a good choice to start with. All right, so that's that. Now what we're going to do, we want to take out the extra. So if you see, when you fold this and fold this, you end up with this little square here. All right, we want to get that bulk out because when we fold it over, it's just going to be too much there. All right, so we want to go just up to the corner. You don't want to get too short because then that'll stick out. So you want to get pretty close, and you want to just cut out the corner. Okay, and we're going to do this on all sides. I'm going to try not to get my hand in the way here. All right, and then we're going to cut right there and take that out. So we're going to do this on all sides, just right up to there. And again, if you cut it too short, you can always fix it. We can always add something over the edge there. All right, now this is a little much, so I'm going to take that out. All right, but that looks pretty good all the way around. All right, so that's how it should look. We have the bulk out. So I'm going to do this one first because this already has the nice tape on it. And you want to get it pretty tight, and you want to get it smooth. Okay. Now again, we're going to cover this up most of the way. So, and then we're going to take some more of our glue. I gotta get a little more out here. Okay, there we go. And then we are going to glue the rest of it. Again, you can use double-sided tape if you want. If it's paper, you don't want to use thick paper on your covering because it'll crack. All right, so you want to use pretty thin paper if that's the way you want to go, but thin paper really isn't liquid glue friendly. So unless you have a glue that works, then go ahead. But again, all this that we're working with is free. Okay. And what better way to practice? This is a perfect way because you really have nothing to lose here, okay? You have your glue, but, and again, any mistakes, you cover them up, okay? We're going to go around and do each side. And this jar is pretty quick. Okay, I'm going to smooth it out. Am I in the camera there? Okay. Now, you have these score lines, okay? These little dents for your spine. So what you want to do is, I'm trying to find my tool here. I guess I'll use this. Okay. So where you put this paper, you just want to go over the score line so it folds easier, okay? So your little indentation, you just want to continue it so you don't have a problem when you're going to fold it. Okay, so go ahead and look at this. How easy was that? And you've got your cover. Okay, free, easy. All right. So now, as you see, you can work with this already. All right, it's dry or dry enough. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is you want to put on, and it's kind of the liner of your book. All right, and this is where you can make it really decorative. All right, I use matte paper on this one. But what I did first, before I put the designs on it, I covered this with the paper bag, which I thought was a really nice look. You don't have to. You can go ahead and start decorating with the paper. So what I did, I took the lunch bag, and on the lunch bags there's a seam where they put it together. So you're just going to take it, rip it apart, okay, and all the way down, open it up, and nice and simple, right? So what I did with this one, I'm going to put this like this, okay. So again, I'm going to take my Mod Podge. Now, since this is a paper bag, the glue's not going to hurt it, okay? We can continue with easy glue, brush it on. And you're going to take a little more time than I am right now. But again, this is going to be just fine. Then we're going to take it, we're going to cover it, okay? And again, I'm just showing you this with the paper bag because it's a nice look, and I wanted to show you kind of what I did with it. Okay? And now you can go over here and smooth it out. And with the paper bag, you can keep it wrinkly or you can smooth it out, because I like it when it's a little wrinkly and rustic looking. Okay, and this is great. You can do this with the kids. I mean, they would have a blast making this for themselves. Okay, going on any trips this summer, you can make a great travel journal. Okay, so that's that. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing we did here. I'm going to take out the excess. And keep going around. And you see how I'm not measuring anything? I haven't measured one thing yet. I just used what it was. If you want to cut it down, yes, you're going to have to do that measuring from the score line. But if you just use the box as is, here you go. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this on again, okay? And bring it all the way around. And I think I forgot to cut this one. Right? Yeah, this one I didn't do. Okay, so see? Put the, now my blade came out. There we go. But, see? You can always undo it and get back in there. Alright. I'm going to paint this again. And see, it stays instantly because it's thin. And things adhere to this Tyvek very well. And we'll go ahead, and we're not even going to worry about this little straggly stuff. Then cut it even, that's fine. As long as you don't have any bulk in there, you'll be good. Because again, remember, we are going to cover this, okay? As long as we get enough because our liner paper isn't going to come to the edge. We're leaving some of this, so that's why we want at least an inch, inch and a half overlay. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead, just double check our score on the paper. And how fabulous does this look? Okay. Now again, you could skip the tie back step, but the tie back really gives it some stability. You know, it's going to hold up well. It's going to be durable. Okay. So now we want to cover this up. All right. So, whoops, everything's falling. So what I'm going to do, you can take paper at this point. You can go ahead and do this and do, since it's spring, that's fun, right? Or what I did, this one I covered with the matte paper because I'm making the travel journal. All right, so I'm going to leave that there. Okay, so I'm just going into my paper stack, and this one I'm going to need to use 2 pages, okay, because it's not going to fit. So again, if you don't have the size you need, you're just going to double it up. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. But what I'm going to tell you to do is you want to match it up here. All right, so it looks like one continuous piece. All right, so you're going to match it up in the middle there, and then you're going to match it up. Now what I did here was I folded it over. I did it in the middle, and I came right around, and then it finished off your side. All right, this I use double-sided tape on, only because it's thin paper, and I don't want it to bubble up on me. Okay, so I'm just going to take double-sided there. Start from the middle. I'm going to double side tape here. And I'm going to double side here. So top and bottom. I'm not putting tape on the overlay yet. The one that goes around the corner, so to speak, okay? Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm not taking all the double-sided tape off, because if we don't match it up right, it's hard to get it off. So we're going to take the one that's going to sit on your binding. Take that off. And you're just going to eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to get that down first. Okay? Now we know that's straight for the most part. We're going to flip it over. And I am just going to get the wraparound set up for bending over. Okay? We're going to flip it around. Take off the other double-sided tapes. And then we're going to lay it. We don't want this to bubble up, so slide it. And come around. Now we have tape here, but we want to put some here. So we want to make sure this stays, okay? And we're going to pull it. And hopefully it stays flat. Okay? And now we're going to do the same thing with this side. And then it'll look like one piece, because this is going to get covered up. All right, so we're going to go ahead again. We're going to do the side and top and the bottom. All right, so let's make sure we have that right. Definitely putting the tape on the wrong side at first. Okay, let's do that. And double-sided tape is faster. But you know, if you can use liquid glue, use liquid glue. This you can use thicker paper for, if you do want to just use the glue, but you want to score the part that's going to fold over. Make sure you score it on your scoreboard first, okay, so you don't have any cracking. And test the paper out first too. You know, see if the paper you choose is going to let you do that. Okay, so now I was going to take the wrong one off. Let's see, this way. Okay, so I want to get this one off first. And I'm going to line it up. And here I have the longitude and latitude lines, so it helps line it up for you automatically. Okay, so everything looks good. I'm going to do the fold over first. Now I'm going to take double-sided tape off, or glue, whatever you choose to do. I'm going to fold it over. It's nice and smooth. Whoops. Now, see, I forgot to do that. You heard that little crack, right? So you want to make sure you're scoring this paper so it folds over really well, okay? I'm going to play with it a little bit. It might bubble up a little bit. You probably could put some more tape in there. But once you have your binding in and all your stuff on there, it'll be good. So there you go. How easy is that? Almost all free to do this. And now you're just going to go ahead and decorate it. I tore some matte paper and stuff out. All right, so that's it for the cover and the binding. And I'm going to have a part 2. Next, I'm going to show you how to do the glue-in signatures. Nice and easy, no measuring, okay? We're going to do it very neat. You can add as many as you want, and I'll show you how to do that without it being too difficult. Okay, so that's it for this one today. I hope you try this. I'd love to see what you come up with. And, you know, do the big one, do the small one, whichever you feel comfortable with. But all free, make a mistake, you can start over, cover. And so that'll be it for this. Okay, thank you for joining me. Please stick around. I will see you on our next part 2. And remember, we're all on this journey together. Let's make it a creative one. I'll see you next time.